Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to learn how to make this beautiful trendy dress. If this is what you're interested in, keep watching, like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Now to get started, I start by drafting my basic upper bodice. I'll start by imputing my shoulder measurement, which is 14 divided by 2 plus half inch, which is 7.5, and I came down 1.5 for my shoulder slant, and then I went ahead to mark my armhole length, and my armhole length is 7.5. So I'll just go ahead and connect the lines with my ruler, and then I'll draw the L-shape points for the armhole. After that, I went ahead to impute my neck measurement, which is 3 by 3, the standard neck measurement, and this style line we're working with is actually a high neck, so we're going to actually use this 3 by 3 neckline. Note this 3 by 3 is for a small size. If you have a bigger size, then you know you have to increase that neckline. And then I went ahead to join the shoulder to the neck, and I went up 3 inches from my armhole length, and I connected it like this with my armhole ruler. Sorry, we already know how to draft the basic body, so I'm just going over it again. But in case you don't know, check my previous videos and you will get to see videos of how I drafted basic bodies. So I just went ahead to draw out my neck line. So after that, I went ahead to draw my horizontal measurements. My apex is 9 inches, my underbust is 12.5, my half length is 16.5. I'm just going over it again so that I can have a straight line. Now go ahead and roll out these lines. So I'll label these lines apex, underbust and half length. This is basically what we're going to work with, but since it's a dress and we're going to have to use some parts of the lower bodies, I'm going to extend this to the full length of the dress, and the full length of my dress is 39, so I'm just going to extend it to that point. Though I marked my hip line, which is from my waistline to my hip line, which is 9 inches. I'm sorry my camera was not showing that part, I didn't know, but I just went ahead to rule out that hip line. So this is the hip line measurement I did, and that's the full length of my gown. So let's work on this part because that's the most important part. So let's work on this upper part. So I'll go ahead and impute my body's measurements, my bust measurement, my waist measurement, and then we will go ahead and do the tightening. So for my bust measurement is 32 divided by 4, which is 8 inches, and I'm just going to put it there, 8 inches, and I'm going to add 2 inches sewing allowance to it. You can put whatever sewing allowance that works for you. My waist measurement is 6.5, and I added 1 inch for that, and then I added 2 inches sewing allowance. My hip measurement is 36 divided by 4 will give me 9 inches, so I'll just go ahead and impute my 9 inches on my hip line, and then I'll go ahead and connect all the lines. I added 2 inches for sewing allowance, please, so I'll go ahead and connect all the lines. Connect it like so. So whatever I have on the hip line, I'm just going to extend it all the way to the full length of my dress. We're not going to be needing that part, but we'll just have to do it because I don't want to, I want to know what I will add to the length of the dress, so I just want to do all of them here. So you can ignore doing your own to the end of the paper, but I know I want to just do mine like this, so I just extended it to the end of the paper. So I will come over to the waist measurement now. and we're going to impute our darts. So that intake we added for this draft is 1 inch. So I'm just going to mark my nipple to nipple point, which is 3.5. The dart is going to extend downwards, so I went up 3 inches from my hip line and I marked that point. So that's where my dart is going to stop. So I want to extend my line straight to that point. And then I'll go ahead and take out my half inch on both sides of this line on the waistline. Note this dart is taken out on the waistline only because that's where we added the dart allowance. So I'll go ahead and mark it out like this. Like this. Then we'll go ahead now and do the tightening, underbust tightening. So for my underbust tightening, I'll go ahead and take out half inch from the center front and 1 inch from the side front. Half inch from the center front. After my dart leg, I took out half inch from the center front and 1 inch on the side front, and I'll just connect it this way. So I will extend that dart leg that we just added now down to the point where our dart is supposed to stop, which is 3 inches above the hip line. So I'll just extend this dart leg to that point. Extend it to that point. Then for the style line that we're working with, it's a neck dart, a neckline dart. So I'm just going to connect a straight line towards my neckline like this. So this is it. I'm going to connect it like this. So this is basically all for this draft. Now we'll go ahead and work on the down part, the lower part. I'll just go ahead and mark the 3.5 inches, my nipple to nipple, all the way to the hem of the dress. I'll just continue marking it all the way to the end of the dress, and I'll connect it with a straight ruler all the way down. So for the style line we're working with, I want to come down from my waistline, 1 inch from my waistline. That's where my gathers will start from. I don't want it to be on my waistline, but you can actually go ahead and cut it straight on your waistline if you want. But I just want to come down 1 inch from my waistline, and I will connect a straight line to my dart leg at the front, center front. So my dart leg at the center front. You see how I connected? It's just a straight line like this. So when we're cutting it, you understand how we're going to cut it out this way. So first of all, we'll go ahead and draft our back bodice. Now to draft our back is basically almost the same thing we did for the front. Shoulder divided by 2 plus half inch, which is 7.5. Now for the shoulder slant, I came down by 1 inch, and then I marked my armhole length, and then I went ahead to also impute this shoulder measurement like this so that we can have a straight line, and I'll go ahead and mark it out. Mark it out. So for the armhole, I divided my armhole by 2 and I came out by half inch, and at the L-shaped part there I went up by 1 inch, and then I connected the lines together, and I'll go ahead and use my straight ruler to mark it up to the shoulder point. Then at the neckline, I did 3 by 1 inch because this is the back. We're doing 3 by 1. So I'll go ahead and also mark out that neckline as well. I'll also connect my shoulder to my neck point like this with the straight ruler. so that I'll go ahead and impute my body's measurement. My bust divided by 4, 8 inches. My waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch, that which is 7.5. And then I added half inch to it, which is 8. I went ahead to mark my hip line, which is 9. My hip divided by 4 is 9 inches. So I'll go ahead and connect the lines like this. And connect the lines like this. And then I'll take it all the way down as well. So I just adding my sewing allowance, 2 inches sewing allowance on all the sides. And then I'll connect the lines too. Then I'll go ahead and extend the line to the end of my paper, which is the length of my dress, just like we did for the front. I'll extend my line all the way to the end of the dress. And I'll add my sewing allowance as well. Note the difference between this hip point and the other hip point is because we have a difference at the waistline. My half length for my front is different from my half length from my back, hence it's affecting other measurements. I didn't mention it while we're doing the front, but I imputed my side dart of 1.5 inch, and that is why we have this difference between the half length for the front and half length for the back. Now at the back, I'm doing my zip tightening. I went in by 1/2 inch, and I'm connecting it from the waistline to my chest line and from the waistline to my hip line like this. So with this, my zip is going to lay very flat at the back. So I'll go ahead now and impute my dart. I'll put my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, and I'll also go up at the hip line by 3 inches, just like we did for the front. That's where the dart is going to stop, and I'm going to connect the straight line from that point to the apex like so. And then I'll take out the 1/2 inch on both sides at the waistline and connect the lines back. Connect it like this. I'll also go ahead and extend that line to the end of the dress. Extend it the same way we did for the front. Extend it using my nipple to nipple measurement, and I'll take it all the way down. So the same thing we did for the back, for the front, sorry. I came down 1 inch from the waistline, and I'm connecting it to that our dart leg. Yes, to that dart leg. Then I'll do that extension using my nipple to nipple measurement all the way to the hem of my dress, and I'll rule a straight line. Actually, at the end of this whole drafting, I found out that I didn't actually need this lower part for the back, but we'll continue to do it. When we get to that point where we're not going to use it, I will let you know. So just follow the tutorial. So for the neckline, I'll also do the same neckline for the back, the same neckline we did for the front. So I'll do the same thing for the back, but you can decide whichever one you want to do. But I just want to repeat the same neckline darts that we did for the back, for the front, sorry. We're going to repeat it here at the back. So I just connected a straight line to my neck point. So you can choose at any point of the neckline where you want this dart to be, any of the points. So that's basically it for the front and the back. I'll just go ahead and cut out this draft. We'll cut it out and go ahead to also cut it out on fabric. So I'll get my scissors now so that I can go ahead and cut this out. So please just watch carefully and see how we cut out the patterns So this is the neck darts. Just go ahead and cut it this way. We're removing all the darts in this draft. All the darts that are in this draft is what we're taking out from it. So go ahead and cut it like this. So that's the point where we're going to stop for the side. We'll just cut it this way, see, and then we'll remove all the other darts. Cut out the armhole, take out this other darts, and continue the line to the end of the pattern paper. This is the back. So go ahead and take out all the darts as well. Take it out all the way. Cut the neckline. And then go ahead to open up the darts, open up this pattern, and then take out the darts like this. So just watch carefully to see how I cut it out so that you don't mix up your patterns. Cut it all the way and then take out the darts. So we'll go ahead now and cut out these pieces on fabric, these pieces that we have drafted. So this is my back when I was done. This is my back, center back, the side back, and then the lower part. And this is my front, the center front, the side front, and also the lower back. So go ahead and cut these pieces on fabric, add the necessary sewing allowance and a zipper allowance at the back, at the front, because the front is what is going to have the zipper. So we'll have the zipper allowance at the front, and that lower part we're actually not going to use it anymore. So this too is what we're using. So this is my pattern. I have cut out my pattern on fabric. I've added wording to the bust points, bust area. This is my front anyway. I added wording to the bust area, and I have also cut out my lining. I added interfacing halfway at the center front. I don't want it to get to the full length of the dress, and for the side I added interfacing. I use medium interfacing for this. And this is the back. This is the back. I also cut out the back on my fabric. I added my sewing allowances of 1/2 inch around it, and I added 1/2 inch at the side front too, all the way around it. I also did the same thing to my lining. I cut out my lining and also added interfacing to it. And I also went ahead to add for the center front halfway too, because I don't want it to get to the end of the dress. So I'll go ahead and join these pieces, join this front, the lining to the lining, the fabric to fabric. So I'll join these pieces together and I'll come and show you what it looks like. And this is my front. I'll also go ahead and join these pieces together, fabric to fabric, lining to lining, and then we'll show you what it looks like. So for the lower part of the dress, we're going to cut a flare. To continue the lower part of the dress, we're going to cut a flare. So I'll just divide my waist, I'll multiply my waist by 2, and divide it by 3.14, because we're cutting a 180-degree flare. So whatever I get, I will just mark it at that point. That will be my radius. So whatever I got, it was what I marked there, and I will rule a straight line there. I'll go ahead and mark out the length of my dress, the lower body, and my length is just 27. I added folding allowance 1 inch and joining allowance to the waistline by 1/2 inch. So I'll just go ahead and mark out this on my folded fabric all the way. It's going to give me like a curve, something like a curve. So I'll go ahead and cut it out now. Note that this is one part. I'm going to cut out 2 of this to go around my waist. I'm going to cut out 2 of this, and then we're going to do it gathers around it and to go around the waistline. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So this is the back piece. We've joined it together. We've joined it together like this, and then I went through the style line again, and I noticed that this is not what it is at the back. So I'm just going to cut out this part. We're just going to have it gathers all the way around through the back. So we're cutting out this strip here around the center back so that it will just be like this. Then we're going to have it gathers around it at the back. I hope you understand when I'm doing it. So I'll go ahead and cut it for the lining as well. So this is my center front. This is my center front. I've joined them together, and I'm going to put my zipper at the center. So I added 1 inch for my zipper in front. So this is my front, and this is the lining for my front. I'll go ahead and turn the neckline for this front, turn the neckline and join and turn the sides as well. Turn the neckline as well and join the sides, and then I'll bring it back here. So for the back, I'll do the same thing. I'll also cut out this for the lining. Just cut this off. Please note that it's not part of it. Just cut it off so that we'll work with just half length, and that will be it, because our gathers is going to go all the way through to the back. So I'll go ahead also and turn the neckline and also turn the sides of the pattern. So this is my flare. I cut 2 of it. I told you I was going to cut 2 of it. So I'll just go ahead and join them at the sides, and then I'll run a gather stitch at the top part of it. So it will serve as our lower part, lower bodice. So I'll go ahead and do this and bring it back. So this is my front. I've turned the neckline. I've gone ahead to also attach my zipper all the way down. I've done my neckline and I've done the sides as well, and this is my back. I've also done the neckline and the sides. So next I'll go ahead and join the shoulders, join them at the shoulders and join at the sides. I'll bring it back and show you what it looks like. So this is it. I have joined it at the shoulder and at the sides. I've joined them at the shoulder and at the sides. I've also gone ahead to do my gathers on my lower part, which is a flare we cut out. I've done the gathers on it. So I'm just going to pick one side of the gathers and join it from one part of the front, of the side front, because we already have our center front straight down. So we're just going to pick it from one side of the side front and pick it all the way to the other side of the side front. So it's going to run through the back and come and end at the other side of the side front. I'll go and join it. So this is it when I was done joining. See, this is it when I was done joining, and we can see that the opening is still there. The center front and the side front are not joined together. I'm just trying to open the zip. Sorry, there's a thread holding it there. So this is it. So what I'll do next now is to join these sides together. So I'll just flip my fabric this way and join them all the way down. I'm holding both the lining and the fabric together, and I will join it all the way down. I'll do the same thing to the second side, do the same thing to the other side, and so that we can have one piece, have everything in one piece. Then I'll also, for the inside, to turn these rough edges, I already have my lining cut out. Now for the lining, I just cut out a straight strip, which is 5 inches shorter than the normal length of the dress, of the gown, that of the lower part, sorry, 5 inches shorter. So I just ran a gathered stitch around it. Also, I'm just going to use it to turn here. Now the width of this piece of fabric is my waist times 2 or times 3, as the case may be, but I used 2.5 anyway. So I'm just going to join it this way. So I won't flip it over. We're going to have a clean finishing. I'll gather it and go and join it to turn this other waistline all the way around towards the front piece. So I'll do that and I'll bring it back to show you what it looks like. So we're going to the sleeve now. I have a detailed tutorial on how I made the sleeve up on my channel. So if you've not seen it, go ahead and watch that tutorial. I'm just gathering the sleeve part. I've already drawn my gathers on it, so I'm just pulling the threads to gather it up. Pull to gather it up, and that's the sleeve. Pull to gather it up. So that's the sleeve, and then I'll just go ahead and sew it up around my armhole. See, it's sitting very pretty. I'll go ahead and sew it up around my armhole. So I'll just go ahead and fix the sleeves on both sides, on both sleeves. So this is it. I have fixed it. I have fixed the sleeve and it's looking really fine. We're done with this dress. I went ahead to fold the down of the dress, so I'll go ahead and give it a nice press and then put it on to show you guys. So this is it. This is what it looks like. Look at how pretty it is. Everything came out looking really fine. I made my dress longer because I wanted to wear it to church and I don't want to wear a very short dress to church. So you can do yours the desired length you want, whatever length you want. So if this tutorial was helpful, give it a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe. See you in my next video. Bye.